there, welcome to another craft night with friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Tonight we are continuing on the Aurifil block of the month quilt. I am hoping to have a quilt top done by the end of the week. That would be amazing. So right now we're sewing together rows and yeah, quilt top by the end of the week. So thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So all right, again, we're working on the Aurifil block of the month. We sewed together 3 of our 4 large rows yesterday, and we're just doing the one more tonight. Then we got to press everything, and we can start sewing all our small rows to the large rows. So that's the plan. All right, so here is where we left off last night, our last row. So we got our small pieces that we're sewing onto our larger ones. I also have to trim these down to the 12.5 inches if they aren't done yet. Our finished ones are hanging out up here. This is row 8, so let's get going on there. I'm going to put, my clip was grouping all of them together, but now I'm going to just put it on the top piece. And I'm actually going to shimmy this to the side, and we're going to grab the first 2 pieces. So that's this guy and this guy. Ooh, and I just remembered, I think we are out of bobbin thread. Didn't we run out right before? So I have one more bobbin with like a little teeny bit of bobbin on, so we'll put that on too and see how far that gets us. But let's see how our 12.5 measurement is for this guy. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Nice seeing all of you pop in. All right, so this is a hair small again. I think it's just, if I really press this flat, like every seam just really squished it, it would probably end up being close to the right size. So we're going to try and just pull on it a little bit while we clip this together. So I'm going to clip these 2 to start. All right, so let's throw a clip on the top and bottom, and then in the middle, kind of stretching it out. Stretching it out just a hair. And again, a lot of that's because, well, maybe not in this case, but in other cases, the sizes are different just because I'm working with that purple fabric that I probably shouldn't have. It stretches and moves a little bit differently than this quilting weight fabric. So I'm just kind of stretching out the bottom so it's in line with the top, and then I'm just going to clip it right in the middle. Okay, so let's sew this one, but first, while I'm here, let's just replace the bobbin so you can kind of see it over here. Yep, there we go, empty. I have a bunch of empties again. I'm going to have to get on winding because this guy is not going to last very, very long. There's just a little bit on here. Okay. There we go. That guy's ready, so I just need to pop him back in, and we will be back in business here. Great. Okay. To the sewing machine. So I popped back in the bobbin, but I haven't like pulled it up yet. So this is where we left off last night. We managed to just get a little bit on our leader, so we couldn't have timed it better for a change of bobbin. So all right, so I'm gonna just go forward with my wheel, and that should pull up a little bit more. There we go. It'll pull up the bobbin thread, and I can get it out of there. There. Now our bobbin thread has moved to the top. Let's just stick our little plate back on there. There we go. Ready. So I'm going to start by just kind of finishing off this leader where it stopped on us. Everything feels okay. The stitching looks okay, so I think we're in business. That was pretty painless. All right, I'm gonna grab my glove just because it helps me grip onto the fabric a little bit more. It's been really helpful for this, actually. All right. So now I am gonna kind of stretch between here and this point while I stitch, and that should kind of equalize this area out, because the bottom piece was not quite as long as the top piece, so it just needed to be stretched out a hair. Oh man, Sylvia, I hope you feel better from that. Ooh, I'm kind of shushed this underneath a little bit. We'll be fine. I'm just kind of winging it on all this. I'm thinking I'm not being very careful with my seams, so I'm going to have to step it up. I'm going to have to think about it a little bit more. Some days things just work better than other days, and right now I feel like I'm not sewing very straight, so I'm going to have to focus on that. Ooh, look at that pretty bright red. All right, so this is the next piece. Again, I think we could squish this down a little bit more, so I'm thinking this will probably be a little small. Yeah, but not too bad. All right, so this is part 3 and 4. This guy's always kind of going on the left side. But let's use these ones I already have here. Jenna and I are busy working on the new website again, so it's coming up next week already, you guys. Just kind of crazy. We've been working hard on that, so I'm excited to see what you guys think, and that will be coming up soon. We're hoping that we could put in a few things that have been asked for a while. And we definitely want to just keep growing with it as well. So consider it like the base, and we're going to just keep adding more and more stuff that you guys are wanting. So always be sure to let me know, like either in an email or the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, if there's any other feature and stuff you'd like in the future. So trying to get a bunch of those ready for next week. We'll definitely have more info on that coming up for sure. And yeah, definitely would love to hear from you what you'd like to see. All right, that felt a little bit straighter. Okay, next up, so this is our last piece in here. We do have this like last piece that actually goes on this side, but we'll sew that on next. All right, first, this is our final one we have to measure. So we really only cut down like 2 of them. Yeah, I'm not going to cut down this one either. I think we're fine. So I'm glad we did cut them down, though, the ones that needed it, because otherwise they would have been kind of crazy. But yeah, didn't have to waste time cutting as much as I thought we'd have to. Okay, kind of line up that edge a bit. All right, let's do it. Ooh, I think my mom gets her not I Love Home, her Granny Square quilt back from the quilter soon. This is her first quilt that she sent out to have quilted. So we're excited to see how that goes. I think she's just getting like a simple meander, like a stipple meander over the whole piece. Which is what my mom can do, but this is just like a whole... It's a good experiment of like getting a quilt done without having to do the last little bit of it, like just having someone else quilt it for you. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I think she was supposed to get it back this week. So man, she's gonna have a finished Granny Square quilt soon. Okay. Flip that guy over. Ooh, pretty. All right, so that's the first two. Then the second one off the machine are the next two. So we'll sew those together. This guy's still on the machine, but after we sew this, we'll be able to take him off and then sew our last piece there on, and then we'll have to take all of them off and sew them together. But then we can start pressing, so we will be pressing for a good part of the evening here. We're going to press the rows in the seams in the opposite direction that we press the thin rows. And that's so we can nest the seams together later. So we'll definitely get to that. Oop, I lost a clip. Let's grab another. Oh, for sure, Lenore. So Lenore says you'll have to show the quilt on my next trip home, which may be soon, actually. All my brothers and their significant others are going to be in town real soon. I think mid-June, so we'll probably be headed back mid-June. And I don't know, maybe I'll have a quilt sandwich while I'm there. But yeah, I'd love to see how my mom's quilt turned out, so I'll have to take a picture for sure. But yeah, I'm excited. There we are. Okay, last little one. We're going to add this guy to this now. All right, and I'm also going to just mark this as the upper left just so I don't mess it up. This is actually directional. I know that this is the bottom, but still, in any case, just that extra little visual. Upper left is always, for me, the beginning of the row. So then no matter how I turn this, how it flips, I always know, okay, upper left. Once I get it into that position, then I know what's straight. So that's kind of my go-to little deal. The less thinking I have to do, the better. So if I could just put a little visual there quick that does the thinking for me. Present self is helping out future self, and future self appreciates it. That's for sure. Okay, next. So this is our last little bit. Okay, so I'm going to need a leader. Oh, I got one right here. So we have to take this all off the machine after this row, or after this seam, because then we'll sew the ones that we were doing up here. This guy's got to sew onto this guy. Alright, out of my way. Clip. All right, and we have it. Okay, so let's take this guy off first. Again, upper left is always the most to the left. Or the clip is always in the upper left, so that's how I know. And then this guy, the upper left of this one is here. It's no longer going to be the upper left, though, when we sew it together, so we can just flip those. All right, after this, we start pressing. Oh, Sylvie's asking if our mom has a room for all of us. There's not separate rooms for all of us, no, so we're going to have to shimmy sham all over the house, I think, a little bit. I think John and I might actually, they have a camper, we might actually stay in the camper. So that'll be a little puzzle piece. But it'll be fun. Oops, get there. When I'm going like this, I'm just trying to make sure the edges are lined up here a little bit. Just want to see them. There we are. Stuck. All right, let's get a leader. Felt like two pieces, but it's just one. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, that's row number 8 here. Oh, let's get this guy. Good, so I think, why don't we just press these right away? So let's just kind of regroup and see what we need to do for that. For one, I know I'll need this feller. I'm going to put my clips away before I dump all of these everywhere, which would be no fun. We will need these later, though, to put the rows together, so I'm going to leave them. I'm going to have them nearby. Okay, so we have our large rows here. So we've already sewn together our skinny rows. And let's see, okay, so those are pressed towards the right. I'm assuming that's the case for all of them. Yep, okay, so pressed towards the right. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that's what we did. We pressed, I think I was supposed to write myself a note from this earlier. I think we're pressing towards the inside. Oh, we are. Okay, so great. So I just have to repeat that. Ooh, I'm glad I checked that out. So I'm not pressing to one direction. I am pressing towards the sashing piece. So that's all I need to pay attention to. Okay, good. That's easy. So I'm going to do it in like reverse order. So I'm going to start with this number 8 and we'll go from there. Okay, so my iron is heating up. Okay, so I'm going to start with this guy. We'll be pressing this seam this way. And I think I'll flip it over and press from the front when we're done here too as well. Okay. So what we're really doing now is just kind of prepping our seams so we can sew this in a way where all of our rows match up perfectly along these seams. And by pressing the seams in a certain direction, that will help us do that. And, you know, this looks like it could use some pressing anyway. Alright, and this side. I'm going to get this from the front again, too. I'm a little nervous pressing this purple because that's what keeps shrinking when I press it. But whatever, we're in it now. This just wants to be pressed to this direction anyway because all of these seams, you know, that's a lot of fabric there and they don't want to bend. It wants to lay flat. And there's no seams here. It's just a flat piece of fabric. So it just wants to give in whatever direction. So we're just kind of going with the flow of the seams, the bulk here. Wow, I pressed some of these. So this looks like I pressed them open and then I sewed them in one direction. So this one's wasn't really paying too close attention to that apparently. But whatever, it's gonna be fine. All right, so I'm gonna flip this around. Let's give it a final little press. Just really getting in those seams. And then we'll be good to go on this one. And so then we just need to repeat this 3 more times. We got 4 of these rows total. Give the block a little press. And then we can start clipping these all together with the skinny rows. Just making sure that we got in those seams well enough when we pressed from the back. Ooh, that's a big fuzzle. I'm going to snip that off right now. Okay. This is going to start looking super cute together. Okay. Last up, I can tell I stretched this a little, but I think once we have it all sewn together and pressed and washed and quilted, all that sort of stuff, we won't notice that I kind of try to stretch these out a little bit. All right, that's row 8 all done and pressed in the right direction. I think, I don't know, I guess just that's... Let's try and fold this up pretty. Like, this is freaking me out. All right, let's go like this. Maybe in thirds here. There. Okay, that's 8, all nice and pressed. Okay, next up, 6. So we'll flip. Oh, I love that we're just pressing towards the sashing. I don't have to think about anything then. Like, oh, what direction am I in? Which way do I have to turn? Doesn't matter. I'm pressing it all towards the sashing. Alright. Getting in a rhythm doing this. That's always fun. All right, let's get this from the front. These citrusy colors are pretty next to each other. Feels weird on the iron though. I think it's time to clean my iron. It's looking a little shabby here. Not sure why. Well, we've been using it for a lot of stuff. Gets dirty, I guess, so we'll have to figure that out soon here too. Clearly I need just like a cleaning day since I've been talking about needing to clean my sewing machine, and should just really organize this whole area again and clean up some of these tools. It's getting to be time. I'm not being too worried about pressing these embroidery stitches. They're kind of flat stitches, no French knots or anything that we want to keep poofy. And they'll fluff up again once, we wash this and everything too. There, pretty. I like this one. All right, I'm just gonna fold up in the same way. Wouldn't really have to fold it up, but I'm in a small space here, and it's nice keeping these things a little bit more compact. Okay, row 6. Next up, 4. Oh yeah, I probably got some fusible web or something on it. That's probably exactly what's going on. Some steam-a-seam fusible web. Yeah, it just, like, sometimes when I go over fabric, it just doesn't feel like it's gliding. It just feels a little stuck and a little sticky. I think it's time. Someone's mowing their lawn. Everyone is out and about today. It wasn't rainy today. There was a hair less humidity. It was still mid-80s, but today's the last day for that. I think we're supposed to lose 30 degrees tomorrow, so people are getting their lawns mowed and everything right now. I don't have a bobbin. Oh, my mom does not have a bobbin winder either, I don't think. That might be a thing just to put on my list of fun little tools. It might be nice to have. Yeah, because especially a bobbin winder that can do different size bobbins, because now with this machine, I have it's a different size bobbin than my other machine. Actually, all machines probably have various bobbins. I have an industrial machine too that I'd like to use more often, and I don't know what type of bobbin that even has. But yeah, might have to look into that. As long as I can do any size bobbin. Lots of bright colors. This whole quilt's bright colors. That's kind of the nature of the quilt, though. Each block was meant to represent a different color in a different city, so it makes sense that we're going to end up with piles of colors. Right after this, we have one more row, and then we are all pressed and ready to sew. Sew the rows together, which is mostly all about clipping and pinning. We'll clip all of the seams so that they match. Then we'll sew. They're all pretty. Yeah, all this pressing is not the best thing you want to do in like mid 80-degree weather either. Even in the evening here, and with the humidity, and with the air conditioning going all day, this is still pretty steamy doing this pressing. But we're almost done. I will just be sweaty. Come on. This is why I need to like redo our basement or something, because this would be the perfect project for like a rainy day in summer in the basement where it's cooler. That would be just the right bit. Okay, let's get the front on this one, then we are done. Mountains are pretty. All right, last one. So then I can leave this one out. I don't need to fold this one up because this is row 1, I believe. We can, or this is row 2. I can start putting row 1 and 2 together. Okay. There we are. So that's row 2. I'm going to grab row 1 of the small ones here, and actually I'm going to just rotate it so I can access the seam. So this is the seam that we'll be sewing together. So what I want to do is just kind of flip it. And what I'm going to do right now is I want to match up each of these seams, because I want this sashing piece to line up with our little quilt block that we made here. You know, same thing here. The goal is to have this line continue on with this line perfectly and not like be shifted like that, not stair-stepped. So what helps with that is having the seams pressed in opposite directions, which we do because they're both pressed towards the sashing, and this sashing is over here and this one's over here. So I'm going to just clip them together all along the line, and I'll probably actually put one extra clip in this big piece, And then we'll be ready to sew. What's nice about this is I don't have to do the two ends and then center it each time. I just have to get right on the seams. So this is a little different than what we do other times here. But this time it's all about matching these seams together. Yeah, 1, 2. So you can actually feel the folds kind of touch, and that's where we want to get it clamped. So I'm going to do these two, and then I'll come back and do this middle one. So we're just going to go down the whole row and do this, and then we'll be ready to stitch. So let's get the middle one now. And some of these we may have to just kind of do that stretch and grab the middle again. If the sizes of the sashing and the block are hair different. Okay, moving on here. I don't think I need more than just the one clip in between these. Thanks, Marie. Yeah, it's I think it's gonna be fun, this quilt. It's gonna be bright and crazy, but I think the bright and crazy from all these different fabrics is what's gonna bring all the blocks together, because I feel like all the blocks are so different because it's a block of the month by all different designers, right? And not only that, it's all different colors, so there's not really, except for this gray, the colors aren't unified together either. So to bring it all together and to use up fabric from the quilt, because we had a lot of extra fabric, I'm just bringing all that color back in so that at first glance it's just a mash of crazy color. It is just a bright, crazy quilt, but then as you look at it, you realize, oh, there's a lot going on in these individual blocks and there's more to see and stuff. But at first, like, the first reaction is, that's a bright, colorful quilt. Which I think is just right. It's not meant to be seen across the, like a show floor room and be like, wow, I could see from way back there that this was just a striking, dramatic quilt. It's meant for close looking up, like, we're using it on the couch and just it being bright and colorful, and then you can see all the little fun pieces of it on closer inspection. All right, I'm just going to put a clip right at the beginning just to make it easy for me to get started. All right, we are ready to go, so I'm going to put this whole bit in my lap, and we will do rows 1 to 2, and then I think I'm going to clip, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. So we'll just go ahead and make these like double rows the whole time, and then we'll sew. We'll get the rows bigger and bigger together. So this is the first step, making our double rows. Okay. Let's get my glove. I think that'll be helpful here again. Getting a little crazy with these clips, but I still like to see the numbers and everything on here of the rows. Until it's a complete quilt top, I'll leave the numbers on. All right, so this is that first, oh no, right here is the first seam, so I might actually move this and kind of grip it together with the stiletto here. There we are. Okay, now we're going to that middle clip. these edges again. Kind of want to move around because now our pieces are big and they have weight to them, and they want to like tell me where to go. So like this piece is poking out here, so I'm just going to go to there, kind of pull it back in a little bit. There we go. Okay, here's our next seam. Tuck you under there. This is where the quilt just starts to get bulkier and bulkier, which makes it harder and harder to manage, which is annoying to me. I kind of like working our small little baby blocks. The other reason I want to hold or keep the numbers on at the beginning with those clips is because those clips are my mom's clips. So the blue clips, and I on purpose took blue from my mom because I don't have any blue clips, but she does. So I put these together, like I decided on the rows at my parents' house. So I borrowed my mom's blue Wonder clips. So if I keep them on the quilt, then I can know that those are hers, and then I can return them all at once. Versus these, which I take off and use for other stuff all the time. This at the end now. All right, let's see. Do I want to take this off the machine or just start the next row? I think I'm actually gonna take this off the machine. Normally I would just start the next row right away, but these are so bulky now that I think I just want it out of my way. So I'm gonna grab some leaders here. If I can grab one. So we haven't pressed it yet. I don't think I'm going to press till I have all these rows sewn together. There. So I think we'll just sew this row, or fold up this row and set it out of my way for a sec. But let's take a peek at it for sure. Okay. Ooh, cute. All right. So see, this is working. Our seams are lining up really well there. Fun. Okay, that's row 1 and 2. Let's move over here. Ooh, those are pretty. All these grays and blues around the mountains there. Here's our little Aurifill spool. Fun. They're all looking so nice. All right, there's our little bear claw there, I think. All right, rows 1 and 2. Snip this guy, and I think, yeah, we'll leave them unfolded like this. So let's, actually, I'm gonna flip it around so we can see it. Oops, sorry. And fold it up like so. All right, this guy can just hang out for a little while. 1 and 2 together. Let's grab 4 and 3 here. And we'll start clipping. So I don't know if we'll get to sewing this guy tonight. We might get to sewing this guy. But first, let's clip them together. Ooh, this pink looks pretty next to that. All right, flip. Get all our clips back here. Ooh, almost lost some. Throwing one at the beginning here too. I am putting it on the top of the row. I'm just upside down right now. This is 3 and this is 4, just so it's easier for me to access this on the short end. But yeah, it's on the top of the row. Oh, exciting, Gretchen. So the manual for your sewing machine should show like all the little points to oil it. Otherwise, you might be able to Google the manual instructions for the sewing machine. And then what we've been talking about here, what people have been saying is that like, well, that's kind of debatable, like how much to oil. Some people here have said like oil, a good time to do it is every time you run out of a bobbin. That's a good measurement of time, really, spent on the machine. So, ooh, this one's a little smaller. This one isn't totally lined up very well. So that'd be a good time to do it. Someone mentioned every 8 hours of sewing on the machine. I went for years and years and years and years without doing it, and then have started doing it more often. But I still kind of don't. In my head, I like the idea of when the bobbin gets changed and stuff, but I know I haven't been doing that very consistently, so I need to get on a oiling schedule a little bit as well. Or if it just starts sounding, once you oil it, and then, if you sew often enough, like, we've been doing it here in the evenings every night, so I'm kind of getting a sense of like, it's sounding maybe a little funnier or whatever, just like in a super duper subtle way. And it's like, yeah, I haven't oiled it, I haven't changed the needle in a while, I haven't done any of that stuff in a while. Once I get that feeling, then I do it. But I am trying to do it more often. All right, I think we'll sew this guy together, and we will have another 2 rows. All right, getting this in my lap. Let's get all set. Whoop, that guy's being eaten. Okay, get my little stiletto out here. Ooh, Jenna showed me the most beautiful beads today that she found going through her bead collection, and she's gonna make them into a stiletto. They're gonna look so pretty. So I can't wait to see how that goes. Kind of afraid we're gonna run out of bobbin here too. Even though we just started it. Yeah, we might have to spend a day cleaning. I know I say that all the time, but cleaning and oiling and switching needles and just doing all those housekeeping things, basically. So now this seam was totally messed up a little bit. I think that block was a little small or something. This one too looks like the seams are way off. Ugh. Try and even it out. That got stuck. Almost there. Then we can take a peek and we'll fold this guy up as well. So this will be half of the rows. So we have 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have 5, 6 to sew together, and then 7 and 8 to sew together. Oh, and then there's a 9. So we'll sew that bottom row onto it as well. But yeah, then we gotta sew the combo rows together. So a lot of sewing rows together yet for at least Wednesday and Thursday. But then we'll have a quilt top, and that'll be nice. And I am going to take this off the machine again. All right. Let's take a look at this one. Aw, pretty. That's nice. I like that block. All right, fun. Ooh, all these colors are fun together. There's a lot going on in this corner here. We're gonna have to really press that. And there we go, last little square. So this is rows 3 and 4. Awesome. All right, I'm going to fold this up. It is looking like a bright and crazy quilt. I am excited to be using up this fabric, though. A lot of this was fabric that just fat quarters that I've acquired or bought at some point, and just, you know, never put them together with anything, and they just sat in a bin of fat quarters waiting to be used, so this is exciting. All right, 3 and 4. Gonna put that with 1 and 2 here. I think we'll just go keep putting them on top of each other in order there. All right, so that's a part of our quilt right there. All right, so I think that's quite a bit of progress on this today, I think. So we sewed those other pieces together and 2 rows. So tomorrow we should probably be able to get the remaining rows sewn, and then maybe we can put 2 of these big pieces together, and then I think there's really only 1 or 2 more seams after that. Ooh, then we can press. I think we should press the seams all nice, and we'll have a real quilt top, maybe even before Friday. That'd be kind of fun. We can see what other fabric's left over and maybe start putting together the back or something. That'd be nice. So really cruising ahead on this Aurifill block of the month. Awesome. So thank you guys so much again for joining me here. Oh, Patty said would love to see some fabric in the shop. That's a great suggestion. We're definitely working on that. I don't know if we'll have stuff right away, but I would love to carry some fabric. Just looking over some of your other comments here. All right. Oh, Marie says the sashing with all the cornerstone blocks brings it all together. Yeah, again, I think just having so much in here, so many colors, so many blocks that are different from each other, I think the over the topness is going to kind of bring it together. And you know, it is a relatively simple, it's a very simple setting. It's just sashing and some blocks, right? It's not anything very fancy or anything. So that simpleness maybe counteracts how busy it is as well. So we're kind of playing with contrasts here a little bit to make it work. All right, and that sounds good for the evening here. All right, I will see you again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a great evening, all. Good night.